What's going on, everybody? This is Vince with vshred.com, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to start developing your lower pecs. All right, so when it comes to developing a lower chest, you first got to understand exactly what muscles make up the pectorals, because there's technically 3 different heads to it. People call it the upper, the middle, and the lower chest. And what they're really called is the upper is called the clavicular head, the middle is called the sternal head, and the lower you can call it the abdominal head. And this is because this is just basically where the chest muscle originates and inserts. It originates the same point up here, but then it runs to the different heads. The muscle fibers run to different areas on your body. So the one runs up here to your clavicle, the other one runs across to your sternum, and then the bottom one, the lower head, the one that we're going to be working on, runs down below and inserts into the abdominal region. So what you want to do is work the abdominal head of your pec. And how do you work a muscle? I've talked about this in pretty much every single one of my videos. You work a muscle by shortening the muscle and lengthening the muscle and keeping it under tension. So what most people do when they're trying to work their lower chest is they go get on some kind of declined bench. And the reason that the declined bench is not developing your lower chest is because I personally don't think the bench is a very good exercise to develop the chest. It's a great compound movement for maybe to go heavy and get a testosterone boost, or to work a bunch of different muscles because of the compound movement. Because it's a compound movement, you're going to be working a little bit of the shoulders, the chest, the triceps. So you're going to be working a bunch of different muscles. When it comes to chest isolation, I don't think bench press is that great of an exercise, and I've made a video about this in the past and exactly why. And that's because when you're doing a barbell bench press, your arms are in a fixed position. How do you work your chest? You work your chest by getting your elbows to come across your body, adducting your elbows, getting it to come to the midline of your body. When you're doing bench press, you don't get that much adduction with your elbows because your arms are in a fixed position. So if you're going from here to here, how much are your elbows actually being brought in? And that's why I say that dumbbells or cables are a much better alternative, because you can actually squeeze your elbows together and get that actual peak contraction and get the full range of motion and the stretch on the muscle. So if you guys are trying to work your lower chest, I always say that you should probably be working with dumbbells. And then today I'm going to be showing you guys 2 cable alternatives and then a third alternative a little somewhere else in this gym. So let's get into the first 2. And they're basically just going to be cable flies and a cable press, high to low. So you're going to be putting them up high like here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to grab both cables and you're going to be bringing these cables from the top. And what you're really going to focus on, rather than worrying about the actual handle that's in your hand and worrying about trying to get it in, you're going to be trying to think of your hands as just hooks. And then you're going to be bringing this cable down. You want to bring it down towards the ground first. You don't want to be bringing it in first, because that's going to end up working a little bit more of your deltoid or your shoulder. You want to focus on bringing this weight, the handle down first, and then all the way in, squeezing your elbows together rather than bringing your hands together. Because a lot of times when guys are doing let's say a cable fly high to low, they're going like this. And where are my elbows? My elbows are extremely bent and they're not being brought together at all. Therefore, they're never going to get that peak contraction that you really need to stimulate your muscle. There's a big difference between this and this, a big difference. So what you usually see is guys going like this, and they think that they're working their lower chest, and they're really not. Instead, what you want to do is bring your arms almost straight, and you really want to focus on keeping your elbows in the same locked position the whole time, and really driving your elbows down and bringing your elbows together, almost acting as if you're trying to get your biceps to touch. And this right here is a much better contraction than if I were bent like this. So you want to go all the way up. You want to get this stretch on your muscle, keeping your chest out. You want to make sure that you're keeping your chest out. That way you can work that underhead of your pec. So you want to get your chest out, You want to feel that stretch on your muscle at the top. I'm not resting. I'm getting a stretch on my muscle. You want to push down. You want to squeeze your biceps together. Or yeah, you want to act like you're squeezing your biceps together, but you really want to focus on squeezing your chest. And you're going to bring it out first. So you don't want to bring it right back up because you're going to end up bending your elbows. You want to bring it out first, keeping your elbows straight. Bring it up, get that stretch, and back down, squeezing at the bottom. So that's the first one. That's the fly. The next is going to be a variation where you actually are bending your elbow. This is going to be just more of a pressing motion rather than a fly motion. And it's going to be the same kind of setup, but instead what you're going to do is you're actually going to take a step forward. So instead of being back here and just going straight down, you're going to take a step forward, and then you're going to keep your elbows in a bend the whole time. And then this is going to be a very similar motion to a decline bench. But instead of your hands being in a fixed position, if I was in a decline bench right here and I was pushing down, my hands would never be able to come all the way in like they need to. This would be my full range of motion with a decline bench. And this is working my chest a little bit, but it's never going to get you the chest development that you're looking for if you're struggling with lower chest development. So instead, what you want to do is really get that stretch on your chest. And again, chest out, get that stretch on your chest, bring your elbows all the way back, and then you're going to push down through your elbows, and you're really going to squeeze your elbows together at the bottom. You're trying to shorten and lengthen those muscle fibers at the bottom part of your pectoral. Back, squeezing your bicep together, back up. Squeezing your biceps together, really getting that tight squeeze on your pec, bringing the weight out, really leading with your elbows, squeezing it together, back up to get the stretch. So that's the second one. Now I'm going to take you to the third one. Okay, and the third exercise that I want to show you guys is actually on a dip bar. You can do this on a dip machine. You can do this assisted if you want. If you can't really dip with your body weight, then do assisted. This is what an assisted dip machine looks like. You're just going to put your knees or your feet on it. This is actually an old school dip machine where you can actually put a belt around your waist and put more weight on. Most gyms aren't going to have this. I'm not going to do it with the belt. I'm just going to use the handles to show you guys. But when I brought up dips, you guys probably thought that, well, why is he doing dips? Dips are going to work your triceps. Well, just like dumbbell pullovers, dips can work two different muscles. Dips can work your triceps, or they can focus on your lower chest, simply because of where your elbows are going. But the difference between hitting the two is a slight variation in the form and a big difference in the mentality going into the exercise. So a tricep dip is going to look like this. You're going to basically be straight up and down. You're going to try to be keeping your body straight up and down the whole time. You're going to drive your elbows backwards, keeping your chest out. You're going to drive up just like that. That's a tricep dip. A chest dip is going to be a little different. What you're going to do is you're actually just going to lean forward, letting your body come forward, never locking out your elbows, leaning forward, and then you're going to let your elbows drive back, getting that stretch on your chest, keeping that lean forward, and then going back up, and then you're not locking out your elbows. Leaning forward, going down, stretching your chest, driving through, down, feeling the stretch, driving through. Ugh. And those, I think, are actually harder because of just the slight difference in the form that you do to actually engage the lower chest. What you really want to focus on is driving those elbows down and through, so that instead of there's a big difference between flexing your tricep and pushing. Okay, I should say there's a big difference between pushing with your tricep and pushing with your chest. If you're watching this on your phone or in your computer chair or something right now, you can probably push your arm down, feel the squeeze in your tricep, or you can do the same motion but flex your chest, and basically your hand be doing the same thing, but you're going to be working a different muscle. So if you guys are struggling with lower chest development, try out these exercises. Stop doing decline bench. Stop doing bench in general if you're trying to build up your chest, simply because it's not that great at isolation. It's a good compound movement. It's a good movement to help build overall mass, but as far as chest, not the greatest. There's better options, let's put it that way. So hope you guys like this video. If you did, then you would love my fitness quiz that I have. Basically, you just answer a couple questions and then it spits out a couple more tips for your specific body type, for your metabolic rate, and basically what you're struggling with to help you get on the right path. So, and then after that, you can decide if you want to move forward with the program from me and my team. But if you want to check that out, you can click the link in the description below. If you like this video, if you liked any of these tips, if you learned something, make sure you're clicking that thumbs up. It does not go unnoticed. It is very appreciated. If you have any questions, concerns, if you have video recommendations for me to make, I only made this video because people were asking about lower pecs. So if you have any questions or video recommendations, make sure you're commenting them in the comment section below. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.